Hey, welcome back to the shop. As promised before, I got a 1,000 subscriber giveaway going with this, and with I think 910 or 912, so we're almost there. And I said that in February I was going to do once a month regardless. So this is a February one for this video that you're watching. So if you want to win this one, you gotta be subscribed, leave a comment, and turn your notifications off. Now this is an Ambrosia maple, perfectly balanced, nice starburst. Both of them are unfinished, but I can put a finish before shipping them out. Now if you want to participate in this one, and you can do both, I'll leave a link to this video or find it on my channel, and leave a comment on that one too, because that one will come up before, I believe, than this one. Regardless, this will be a monthly thing, so I'll appreciate your support, and here is a video of me making this guy. So I start with a blank that is kind of like a pie shape, and I cut it round to the biggest circle I can get, which in this case is 8 inches. When I'm done with that, it's going to go to the drill press. Here I have a piece of wood underneath that you see is in order to balance that the top of it is level. I don't care about the bottom because I'm going to shape that. This is a 3-inch Frostner bit which fits my plate. Put some screws on it and bring it to the lathe. I'm picking a 40-40, giving it a sharpen. This is 5/8. And here most people will face and through the side of it. I don't. I start in an angle because I find that you're doing both things at the same time and also shaping what do you want. The only thing is that I don't go all the way to the end because you may remove the bark. So as you're doing this, and here I'm showing this in real time just to give you an idea of how slow of a feed, because we usually speeding up video, but here I want you to get an idea of how slow I'm feeding the tool in order to get a smooth cut. And again, I'm gonna stop just before the bark. Ironically, it didn't work, you'll see. Here I'm making an adjustment, and because of the wood is very wet, I decided that I'm gonna try. I'm not at what I need to be anyway, so I'm gonna try to go all the way to the end to see what happens. And nothing actually happened here. It happened later. So I still have a flat spot. So I'm going to the other side. And I don't want this bowl to be so tall, so I'm removing some material. I actually took out like probably about 1.5 inches to wind up with about 4. I marked for my tenon, and since I did that, I have to reshape the bowl. Again, I'm not going, here I'm making the tenon, but I'm not going right to the edge. I'm stopping just before, even though you didn't see that. Here's what I consider my finish pass, and this is actually a ×2. So I'm going really slow and stopping just before the bark, and then I'm gonna approach the bark from the other side. and making a cut just to match the rest of it. Here I decided to take some more just because I saw some marks on the wood that I wanted to get rid of. Here I'm cleaning up the tenon, making sure it's flat on the shoulder. It's very important. Like your chuck should have no gap between the wood and the jaws. Flip that around, take out the faceplate, put a J tool rest, and give it an extra tight. Usually I wait a bit, and then because it's wet wood, you don't want to run into trouble. So now we're gonna start the hollowing process. And here I stopped before the edge because I figured I'd give it a sharpen just to make sure I don't break the bark. Unfortunately, I was wrong. And you will see here that as I do this cut right here, and bang, she's off. So it took me like 5 minutes to find that piece, but I did, and I glued it back on. So I glued the piece back on. This wood is wet. I don't know if it's gonna hold, but it looked like it got ripped off before I managed to cut it around so it's thicker. So now I have to bring it first to the same line as the rest of it, and then try to cut again because I want this edge to be a little thinner. But yeah, I'm gonna take my time here and see if I can save it. So I did that, which was a waste of time because it came off again later, but moving on. It's good here. So I started hollowing, and yeah, the sun came out here and my video became pretty bright. Here I decided to go a little thinner, and that's when all hell broke loose. That piece came off again, and believe it or not, it took me about 20 minutes to find it. So that was the worst part of it. So I figured I would not put it on, I'd just leave it aside until I was done, because it was the same thickness as the rim and it fit perfectly. So here I'm scraping the bottom, and we're almost done. I mean, this part. We still have to figure out the feet because I never done this before. So here I'm going to do a combination of vacuum chuck. So I'm keeping the chuck on the piece. Here I'm putting my vacuum part of it. I use a compressor for it. Here I'm putting an adapter on the chucks. It's an MT2 adapter, so I can center it proper. I bring it in, I turn on the vacuum chuck. Momentarily I will turn it off. Here I'm removing the chuck, and I'm gonna put the stock back on, the tail stock. So once I done that, I can stop the vacuum. So here I'm reshaping the bottom, and because I'm cutting downhill, I'm gonna get some tear out, so I shear script that, and it still required a bit of sanding. Here I'm hollowing the inside and leaving a rim. The idea here is that you have to shape this inside part that it looks like it continues the shape of the bowl. Otherwise it'll look kind of dumb. You'll see when I'm cutting the feet. Here I turn the vacuum back on in order to remove the tailstock, so the piece is being held by the vacuum chuck. Finish that off. And then we gotta make some feet. So here, if you go from the center to the outside and then kind of mark a north-south, I mean, you pick, but you try to find a mark on the middle. So the top line will become one of the legs. The bottom line will be used for you to put your compass, and then use a measurement to the left and right, and those will become your other 2 feet. Hopefully you understood that. Then you get yourself a very aggressive tool. There's many ways to do this, but basically you remove the stuff in between, shape it whichever way you like, and go as close as you can without going over, because then you gotta sand it, and if you leave too much, it's just gonna be way more sanded. But there we go. Now here's the sanding part. Glue the piece that I saved back on, and we're almost there. So I'm leaving this unfinished until somebody wins it and tells me whether they want it finished or just the way it is. And here's a link to that other video if you want to leave a comment on that one for the 1,000 subscribers, and maybe you win both, who knows. But anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you win both of them, and thanks for your support. I'll catch up with you soon. Ciao, ciao.